fishing, but I got to thinking it over. Oh, the road to the river, it's a mighty long way. Well, it must be the season, no rhyme or no reason. I'm just taking it easy, it's my lazy day. How about it, Jack? Well, never mind calling, 'cause I ain't coming. Just pass on by me, stay out of my way. 'Cause a little deep thinking might drive me to drinking. I'm just taking it easy, it's my lazy day. All right, Jack. Well, I'm finding it easy just to mind my own business. I'm keeping my nose out of everyone's way. I ain't taking no orders, I ain't hiring no people. I'm just taking it easy, it's my lazy day. One more time, Jack. I ain't asking no questions, ain't giving advices. I ain't a dating no women, I ain't a wanting to play. I ain't gonna look stupid, don't wanna play Cupid. I'm just taking it easy, it's my lazy day. I'm just taking it easy, it's my lazy day. It's my lazy day. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Bob Music Time. Today's going to be just a lot of fun. I got my good friend Jack Voss visiting with me. Jack, say howdy to everybody.
Hello there out there, and to you, Bob, and everybody's watching.
Well, Jack, I really appreciate you coming on the show with me today.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh, me too, me too. For you folks out there, I've known Jack for, God, I don't know, about 40 years, I guess.
Long time.
Yeah, we've been through a few things here and there. So basically, we're going to do a little talking, a little picking, and a little grinning, and just acting silly. You know what I'm saying? Jack, why don't we start by telling folks where you're from and all that good stuff. I mean, where do you live now?
Waterford. Originally, I'm from Alabama.
Oh my goodness, that's a long ways away.
Yeah, but I was raised up here pretty much. My folks came up here when I was about 11 years old. I know everybody sees me and says, "Boy, you got a southern accent. Where you from?" I say the south side of Pontiac. You know, that's where all the Southerners went to when they came up here.
Ain't that the truth? It's like, you know, they call it on the south side of the Troy at Taylor, Tucky.
Yeah.
That's because where most of the hillbillies landed at.
Yes, it is.
But now you've been here a long time. What did you do for a living, Jack? Your day job.
Well, from '63 till I retired in 1997, I worked for General Motors.
Ah, Generous Motors, huh?
Before that, playing music and picking up a job wherever I could, you know, little shops or whatever.
Yeah.
And military.
Now you was in the Air Force, right?
Right.
And I know you played a whole lot while you was in the Air Force, music that is.
Yeah. That, you know, this guitar really got me to see some places and go places and do things that I would have never been able to do unless I could play it.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I really do. I know that. I think sometimes the playing guitar was a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, I do too.
You know, because there was a whole lot of things that it caused me to get into some trouble, and then other times it's really done me a lot of good. You know.
Yeah.
And when times was hard, I relied on the guitar to kind of keep my sanity. You know.
Yeah.
But you retired from GM, and you've been retired how long?
Almost 20 years.
Wow. Me too.
1st of January, I guess it will be 20 years.
Well, you know what? Let's see.
I think you retired a little bit before I did.
Well, I retired in '97, or '96 rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, '96. So it'll be 20 years in just a few weeks for me, you know. And I tell people if I'd known it was this good, I'd have retired first. You know?
Yeah, that's the truth, you know. But talking about my time in service, a lot of people don't know that Morocco, at one time, I don't know if they still do or not, but one time they had a king.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate enough to get to go down and play for him one time. Actually, it was for his, basically it was for his only son, which was turning 21, and they wanted a different type of entertainment than what they had in Morocco, and they got a bunch of us military people, and we went down and put on a show for them. And
I bet that was something.
it was, and them so-called royalties, when they get to drinking,
They're not so royal, are they?
no, they do things that we wouldn't even probably do.
Well, I know that I had Cliff Gilbert in here and done an interview with him, and I know you know Cliff.
Yeah.
And Cliff is 94 years old now, and he's like you, he's seen a lot of things in life, and he's played a lot of music over the years. Now, you told me one time that you had rubbed elbows with Carl Perkins.
Yeah, I was playing in this big club up in East Patterson, New Jersey, and we had Carl in there for 2 nights. I got to play rhythm guitar for him. I didn't get to play no lead, you know, not with Carl, you know, because he was a great guitar player.
Yeah, oh yes,
A
yes.
lot of people don't really realize what kind of excellent musician that Carl Perkins was.
Yeah.
But again, there we go with my guitar. Back in the 60s, a lot of up-and-coming singers didn't carry a band out of Nashville because they couldn't afford it.
Right.
And they would hire local bands to play for them. And at one time or another, I got to play for several different ones. One of the ones I enjoyed the most and I thought was the best of all was Loretta Lynn. Just before she really popped big and got her own band. She was in Pontiac, and this guy hired me to play guitar with the band, and she was the star that
The
day.
headliner.
Yeah.
They tell me she's a sweetheart to work with. That's
Oh,
what
she
I've heard.
was.
The funny thing is, I've never met the woman, but she was raised up about 40 miles across the holler from where I was raised up at.
Yeah. Well, if you ever met her, if she didn't have nobody else to talk to, and she'd talk to a post. Loretta could talk, man.
I've heard that. Let's do a little song that, and it's been a long time since I've tried this one, but I know you've played it many times. It's called Invitation to the Blues in A. Couldn't sleep last night, just walked the floor. Don't know how I'm gonna stand this anymore. Lonely all the time since I lost you. I received your invitation to the blues. Don't know why you wanna cause me so much pain. I just hope I'll never go through this much again. Thanks for sending something I can't use. I received your invitation to the blues. Now you took the laughter from this world of mine. Thanks to you, now the sun will never shine. Walked the floor so much, wore out my shoes. I received your invitation to the blues. I don't know why you caused me so much pain. I just hope I never go through this much again. Thanks for sending something I can't use. I received your invitation to the blues. I received your invitation to the blues. I bet that's one of them songs you wish you had $1 for every time you played it, ain't it?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Because that was, when that came out, that was...
It was hot. It was hot. Well, every time I sing that song, I think of Cliff Gilbert because he told me that's one of his favorite songs. And he's played a tape or two of it for me when I've been up there to visit with him. But going back to your Air Force days, you were stationed basically where?
France.
In France?
Mm-hmm.
Did you play a lot of music over there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I really did. When I first got over there, me and these other two guys, we won a talent contest all the way up through what they call USAFE, which is United States Air Force in Europe. Mm-hmm. And we got to tour around Europe for 90-something days, just playing pretty much every day and every night.
Well, that must have been a lot of fun.
It was, but it was tiresome too because
sure.
You was on the go all the time, but we were all young. My goodness, I was just barely 18, and and I didn't know I was getting tired. You know.
Yeah. What do you know about being tired at 18? You know.
Yeah. It's one of those things that when you're 77, you know you were tired at 18, but you didn't have sense enough to stop.
There was a whole lot of things. At 18, I didn't have a sense enough to stop.
Yeah. Well,
I went back and apologized to my dear old mother because sometimes she'd tell me, you really need to stay away from that. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And me, I went right ahead and done it anyway, you know. And of course, in later years, I told her, Mom, I sure wish I'd listened to you.
That's like my mother. I never cared what nobody thought or what they said. It didn't bother me if somebody said something about me or thought something about me. I didn't care. And one time my mother, she said, you know, you're just like your aunt. She don't care what they say about her, and you don't either. I said, why should you care? You know,
Yeah,
they're going to say it anyway.
Well, I figured out some time ago, Jack, that ain't nobody pays my bills but me, you know. And so therefore, I mean, I care a little bit what people think, but I try to take it all in stride, you know.
Yeah.
Now, after you got out of Air Force, you settled back here in Pontiac.
For a while.
For a while.
And then I went out on the East Coast. I was out there for a couple of years and almost starved to death because, boy, playing music for a living, people think that's glamorous, but it really isn't once you stop and go back and think about it.
Yeah.
It's not that glamorous.
Right.
Because there's a lot of times when you think White Castle hamburger looks like a T-bone steak to you. If you got the money to buy a White Castle hamburger.
I have been there, but it wasn't because I wasn't playing music. It was because I didn't have a job at all. And back then, I wasn't playing much music at all. I was just learning, you know. And I first left the hills. I landed in Columbus, Ohio for almost 3 years. And I worked for a while for Westinghouse Electric. And I swear we was either on strike or we was laid off half the time I was there in them 3 years. And there was times it got really, really lean. And then somebody told me about the promised land, Detroit. Come to Detroit, that's where it's all at. But in playing music, I know that you played on the East Coast. Is there some other celebrities you might have rubbed shoulders with?
Yeah, I played backed up Stonewall Jackson, Red Sovine, Claude King.
Well, that's pretty good.
Wolverton Mountain.
Yeah, we just played that this morning.
Yeah, and I played bass for the Glazer Brothers.
Oh yeah.
On a show, and that wasn't easy either.
No, I imagine not.
Because they done some stuff with weird chords.
They got some.
Bill Anderson, I played for him once, and Roy Drusky. There probably was some more. I don't remember it now.
I know what you're saying. I have tried for years to try to remember the first bar job that I played when I came to Detroit, and I just to this day can't remember, and it's been 50 years ago, I guess.
Huh.
It's not really important except to my memory, that's all.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter, but I played had the good fortune to play behind Red Sovine one time, and it was a real pleasure because he was a gentleman.
Yeah, he is.
He was a real gentleman, he was. I also got the good fortune to play harmonica with Jimmy Skinner one time.
Oh, really?
And he thought I was pretty good, and I thought he must have been tone deaf.
Yeah, you know, most of those guys were really nice people.
Oh yeah.
At one point, I can't say that me and Odell was real good friends, but Odell Martin was a great guitar player. I mean, he was one of the better ones to ever come out of work in Nashville. And we were real good, I'd say, acquaintances more than friends, because every time we'd be in the same town, we'd try to get together and pick some.
Sure.
And I got to know Farron Young a little bit because he was playing with Farron, and Farron was real nice to people.
Yeah.
I mean, he might say anything might pop out of his mouth.
I have heard that about the man.
He didn't have a very clean mouth, but he was very friendly to people, and I got to know him a little bit, but not a whole lot. But it was nice, you know, that if he saw me somewhere, he knew who I was and he'd speak to me.
Well, that's a good thing. I saw him one time live down in Canton. There used to be a bar down there that would book in Nashville Town
and Country?
That's it, Town and Country Bar, yeah. This was back in the late 60s, I would imagine. And he had a young man named Darryl McCall with him, who was like a Ray Price clone. You know? Very, very good musician. But anyway, moving along after you left the East Coast and starved to death and come back to the Pontiac area, right?
Yeah.
And when you got to Pontiac, did you do any playing music around here?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I got to tell you this. When I stepped off the bus down it was on Perry Street at the time the bus station was, I had 10 cents to call my mom and dad to come get me. And I made up my mind right then that this is where I was going to stay. Yeah. And I played, Spatafores, I played Scribs, they're all gone.
I know you talked about church, the old Dutch Mill.
Dutch Mill, I played there 2 or 3 different times.
Yeah.
In fact, I was playing there when that thing burned. And Oxbow Lake Pavilion, I don't know how many times I played out there. Yeah.
Well, I know around this part of the country, you're pretty much a legendary guitar player. I know that.
And 10 High, when it was there, I played there. Yeah. And I've done some playing down Detroit. I don't remember where all. I used to, when Casey Clark needed somebody, he used to call me and I'd go fill in for him. I never actually worked a steady job with him, but sometimes I'd work 3 or 4 weeks, a month, or maybe it's 6 weeks.
For those that don't know about country music in Detroit, it was said at one time that if you want to get to Nashville, you had to get started in Detroit.
Yeah.
And Casey Clark was mentioned very heavily in that book that I'd done the interview with Cliff Gilbert with, and his two young men wrote the book. And it's about the history of country music in Detroit. And Casey Clark was I think Casey Clark and his Barn Dance or something like that.
Well, Casey Clark and his Lazy Ranch Boys.
Lazy Ranch Boys, yeah.
Was the name of his band. And he used to, for a long time, he had a television show.
Yeah, out there in Wall Lake, wasn't it?
No, he was still in Detroit. This was still when Buddy Emmons was still playing.
Still here in this
and
area.
That was back in the 50s. At first, he had one of the Detroit stations. I forget which one it was. And then he went across to Windsor and played there for a long time. And he used to play down at 12101 Mack Avenue in Detroit. He'd have a Saturday night playing down there and a dance, and he always had these big stars in. You know, top name stars like Hank Thompson, Ernest Tubb, and
yeah, the big guys.
Yeah, and then on Sundays afternoons, he had just a floor show, and those guys would he'd have usually two different stars there. I got to go down one time. Hank Thompson and Ernest Tubb was there.
Wow.
And then
that must have been quite a thrill to play behind those two.
I didn't get to play behind them. I just got to sit out there and watch them. But that was still in the 50s when Buddy Emmons. I was only like 16. I was 15, 16 years old when that happened. But one time in the 70s, early 70s, I think it was, Casey was playing down at Little Abner's.
I've heard of the place.
And so me and the steel player, we worked together all the time, went down to see him because Ernest Tubb was going to be there that night. It so happened that Billy Bird was back playing guitar with him because Leon had quit. And so Casey asked me to sit in and asked me if I had my guitar. I said, yeah, but it was like 20 below zero. I said, I'd never get that thing in tune. And I was talking to Billy Bird, and me and Casey and Billy was talking, and Billy just handed me his guitar. I said, here, said, play mine.
Wow.
Said, set the amp any way you want to, said, because I know where it's at and I can set it back. I didn't move it though. I mean, it was fine, you know. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Billy Bird was a great, great, great guitar player.
Oh yes, he was. Yes,
they think that what he played for Ernest Tubb was all he could play, but that ain't, no, that wasn't it.
Well, a lot of people think the same thing of Chet Atkins. He's got a particular style, but he plays just about anything that you can imagine.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody thinks that this is it. But Chet played more.
Played a lot more. Well, speaking of playing, let's do a little tune. I've done this a couple of weeks back, and you said you kind of liked it, so this is one of those one-hit wonder fellas, and I probably shouldn't say that, but Leon Everett had the hit off of it, and he might have had one or two other hits, but it's a tune called Give Me What You Think Is Fair. Well, I love it when you're with me. I want you with me all of the time. You're just what I've been looking for to satisfy this burning need of mine. I don't want to share you now with someone who thinks that you still care. And if I can't have all of you, just give me what you think is fair. I'll be standing in the shadows, holding back the love I have for you. And it's hard not to let it show every time I see him holding you. When I see the two of you, part of me pretends that you're not there. Well, I can't have all of you, just give me what you think is fair. Just a little part of you, that's all I'm asking. I know having all of you may not ever be. Go ahead, Jack. Just a little part of you, that's all I'm asking. I know having all of you just may not ever be. Well, I love it when you're with me, I want you with me all of the time. You're just what I've been looking for to satisfy this burning need of mine. I don't want to share you now with someone who thinks that you still care. If I can't have all of you, just give me what you think is fair. No, if I can't have all of you, just give me what you think is fair. If I look close enough, the sun will come shining through. It's such a pretty world today. Look at the sunshine. Today and every day since I met you. Yeah, today and every day since I met you. Today and every day since I met you. Jack, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show today with me. I appreciate it. I just wanted some of the folks to hear a little bit of your picking and grinning and hear some of your stories. I really enjoyed it. And I'd like to thank all the folks out there that has the patience to sit down and listen to us. Till we meet again, may God bless you and try to stay out of trouble.
Have you enjoyed it, Bob?
Bye-bye now. Take care.